this point, it's over. That whole Sky Barbie thing, that thing is over. Angel Reese is done in Chicago. They're going to move on. They have to. With what Courtney Vandersloot just came back and said, Courtney Vandersloot just smoked Angel Reese. And you know who else is going in on Angel Reese? You got Nightcap with Unk and Ocho, Shannon Sharp and Chad Johnson going in on this Angel Reese situation. She didn't think it was going to go this way.
If you're going to go at a legend, you better not miss. As we know, Angel Reese come out this week. She absolutely crushed her own teammates into the dust. And she even decided to go after a legend. The legendary Courtney Vandersloot, who, of course, blew out her ACL at the beginning of the season. And she is in the midst of making a comeback. And, of course, Angel Reese made some comments that were none too kind to a legend. Angel Reese will be lucky if she has a third of the career.
Courtney Vandersloot has made her opinions known. Furthermore, it wasn't subtle at all, to put it simply. You know things have gotten out of hand when you're a 5-time All-Star and 2-time WNBA champion, and you lash out at Angel Reese, a rookie who is now a sophomore and has a way of igniting controversy. This isn't just another argument between teammates or a few.
Angel will not have the career that Courtney Vandersloot has had. She won't. You know why? Because I don't think the league's going to tolerate her long enough. She's going to run her mouth until she just ends up jumping from team to team until she does what I think she should do right now.
Reese has been enmeshed in controversy ever since she joined the WNBA. She has come to represent turmoil, whether it was during her turbulent time at LSU or upon her entry into the workforce. She has been unrepentant, achieving fame by riding that drama wave. But eventually that particular kind of anarchy stops working for you, particularly when it targets well-known icons like Courtney Vandersloot. Why? Because you had better land them if you were going to take aim at the game's legends. In this instance,
I don't know, Angel Reese. This is what Courtney Vandersloot had to say. She's firing off. Angel Reese, you got her twisted. She said, contrary to what people think, what people say or think, my age is actually not a factor. I am coming back. This is after Angel Reese said, yeah, Sloot is old. We need somebody young that can do this, that got some experience, but we need somebody young. She too old. I don't know if she can come back from that torn ACL.
There is more to Courtney Vandersloot than just another athlete on the team. Consistent performance is the cornerstone of her career as a player. Let's examine her accomplishments in more detail. 2-time WNBA champion, 7-time assist champion, and 5-time All-Star. Her qualifications are undeniable. You can't ignore her CV with a casual remark since it speaks for itself. However, it appeared that Angel Reese missed the memo. She publicly questioned Vandersloot's resilience, her capacity to bounce back from injuries, and if the Chicago Sky could even...
I mean, it's crazy. It is crazy, but it shouldn't shock me coming from this fan base at all. Oh, but she's on video now, and she's made a direct shot. Courtney has answered the shot from Angel Reese. And I got to be honest with you. How much... Here, I'm going to speculate out loud. How much shit was Angel Reese talking in that Chicago Sky locker room last year around Kennedy Carter about Caitlin Clark? All right? Think about that a minute. The influence there. I got to tell you, I don't think it was Kennedy Carter that blew that locker room up. I think it was Angel Reese.
This is where it becomes confusing, though. Why would Angel Reese choose this course at the beginning of her sophomore year? Why would she take the chance of offending not just one of her teammates, but also an accomplished veteran who has overcome ailments and won numerous titles? Reese's career hasn't even lasted 2 complete seasons. However, she is occupied with criticizing one of the league's most successful...
I'm going for it. And I'm going to tell you right now, Courtney Vandersloot has won a title in Chicago, and she will not be playing with Angel Reese next year. I'm going to tell you that right now. Angel Reese is good as gone. Good as gone.
Vandersloot worked hard after tearing her ACL, enduring extensive rehab sessions, challenging exercises, and frequent interviews where she expressed her desire to improve upon her previous performance. She has experienced everything. Reese publicly implying that she might be washed up was the last thing she wanted, especially from someone who is meant to be her colleague. However, it is precisely what Reese did. And she did it in an interview, no less, in front of the entire globe. Veterans like Vandersloot now shake their heads at this point. Indeed, conflicts in the locker room and frustrations are common in professional sports. That's simply how the game works. Reese, however, took a different approach. She reported it to the press. She didn't merely vent in private. She ensured that everyone in the basketball community was aware of her opinions regarding Vandersloot's future, openly implying that a player of Vandersloot's caliber, who is eligible for the Hall of Fame, was untrustworthy. That destroys trust in addition to being disrespectful. This type of remark has the potential to split a team. This is where Courtney's reply enters the picture. Vandersloot didn't sidestep the topic when it came to her future and whether or not age will play a role in her return. She wasn't cautious. Her response was not politically correct. Rather, she turned to face the interviewer and made a firm statement. Despite popular belief, my age has no bearing. I'm better than ever when I return. No cryptic comments or passive-aggressive social media posts, just a clear counterattack directed directly at Reese. The shot was clean. Don't doubt my abilities. Never doubt my age. Don't doubt my career either. Let's go back a step. The true meaning of Vandersloot's comment is that she has already established her legacy. She has solidified her place in WNBA history by working hard and earning her rings. Conversely, Reese is still working to define hers. She's out here throwing punches at a player whose achievements she hasn't even come close to matching yet, rather than concentrating on raising her own game. Compared to Angel Reese, Courtney has more championships and playoff victories. Eventually, Reese will have to accept that fact of life. Run a race. Take Caitlin Clark in the interim. Yes, the same athlete to whom Reese's admirers frequently draw comparisons. Like Reese, Clark is in her second year, but her approach to that second season is quite different. Clark has endured violent play, been repeatedly fouled, and been the victim of incessant harassment. But how does she react? She remains focused on her team, keeps her head down, and does everything she can to advance Indiana. You don't witness Clark publicly challenging veterans or disparaging teammates. She is committed to setting an example, managing hardship with dignity, and serving as the face of a franchise, not so much as a run race. She is causing turmoil among her own team members rather than setting an example. The notorious half-game benching and suspension. It's funny. In essence, Chicago conveyed the message that they are powerless over their star. In the hopes that she will behave, they will give her a modest punishment of 20 minutes on the bench. That isn't exactly a disciplined approach. That is blatantly weak. You do not want that look if you are the Chicago Sky. Not the players themselves, not the media, and not the supporters. Sincere reply. Reese's antics were in stark contrast to this. Courtney didn't have to yell or curse. She just presented the facts, supported by her accomplishments and decades of expertise. Her response was so potent because of this. Reese, meantime, keeps displaying immaturity by speaking more quickly than she is mature. At this point, the disparity between the two players is much more obvious. Sincere reply. Now, let's examine Reese's supporters. Her supporters have been cruel. Many of them have attacked Vandersloot personally rather than supporting their player with grace. They've insulted her, disparaged her career, and tarried her name in the process. It's needless, immature, and eventually hurts Reese's reputation. Your fan base is an extension of you, whether she likes it or not. Furthermore, what does it say about Reese that those who support her are so willing to disparage others? In the meantime, Caitlin Clark's supporters have bolstered her rather than undermined others. Two players' approaches to their ascent to fame differ significantly. Vandersloot can establish her value without engaging in arguments on Twitter or ranting on Instagram. Her legacy speaks for itself. Because her career speaks for itself, people trust her when she claims she's returning stronger than before. However, it's difficult to believe Reese when she claims that the squad needs better players and dismisses veterans. There is no denying the disparity in believability between the two. Reese frequently expresses her desire to win titles, have better players around her, and raise the standard of the Chicago Skies. However, what sort of elite athlete would choose to play for a club whose star forward openly disparages and disrespects the players who came before her? These factors are taken into consideration by free agents. Why would I sign with a team whose locker room feels more like a reality TV show than a professional basketball team if I'm a top-tier player searching for a team? The management of the Chicago Sky is not innocent in any of this. The locker room is now divided as a result of their allowing this conflict to develop. Their incapacity to act decisively is reflected in the half-game suspension. Hold your player accountable or support her. The organization appears weak, unfocused, and unsure as a result of the clumsy approach. Reese is still capable. That much is certain. She is a fierce competitor, a force on the boards, and a player who puts her all into every play. However, you won't survive long in the harsh world of professional athletics if your drama surpasses your production. Angel Reese is on the verge of crossing the boundary at the moment. Reese's suspension sparked concerns about more than simply her maturity. It made people question the Chicago Sky's future course. For a high school athlete, a half-hearted benching might be sufficient, but for a professional athlete, it is absurd. She is still on the court to sell tickets, so it's a feeble attempt to enforce discipline. That is cowardice, not leadership. However, for more than 10 years, Courtney Vandersloot has exemplified what great leadership looks like. You don't win championships or accumulate 7 assist crowns by chance. By being present, earning your keep, and holding yourself to a higher standard, you do this. Vandersloot didn't complain when she tore her ACL. She refrained from pointing fingers. She left for work. She is currently making a return. Reese might learn something from it, but she doesn't appear interested in hearing it. Rather, she appears more concerned with managing her story, whether via fandom disputes, public remarks, or on-court stunts. Here's the issue, though. If you're a sophomore in the league and have no postseason experience to support your claim, your story needs to be based on outcomes. Otherwise, you appear to be talking a lot without providing evidence to support it. Players like Caitlin Clark are becoming more well-known as the league finally expands. She is the one expanding the game and attracting spectators to arenas. Conversely, Reese is leveraging her prominence to divert attention. That is not necessary for the WNBA. It requires maturity and stability. Reese hasn't yet demonstrated two things. Courtney planned her public reaction. It was motivated by the urge to silence the expanding narrative rather than defensiveness. She doesn't need to establish her worth. Her career is sufficient evidence. She reminded everyone by speaking up that in this league, respect is earned rather than demanded. In the meanwhile, Reese could lose. Not only the locker room, but also the league's own respect. Her career might take the same course as that of so many others who were brilliant for a while before fading away because of drama and immaturity if she keeps going in this direction. This is a warning, not a prediction. Angel Reese might end up being just another cautionary tale, a player with boundless skill but no longevity, if she